Hi everyone, welcome. So today I came with the topic which is a custom REST API using the flows. So usually, if someone say create one custom API in a Salesforce, what you as a developer you do, you will write Apex class and you'll use annotations relevant to the REST API, REST URL, and then REST HTTP at the rate of HTTPS data post. These things you'll use, right? So instead of writing Apex class to creating the custom services, custom REST services in a Salesforce, we can use a flows also. So that's what my today's concept. Okay, let's. I have already one small flow. I'm not going to create a new flow, so which takes the input and which will do some calculation and it will give back to the output. So in today concept what we I'm able to explain is, so how we can call this flow, how we can call this flow, and what is the settings we have to set to call this flow in a as a REST service. Okay. So these things I'm going to explain, and what could be the URL, how we can pass the input parameters, how we'll get the output parameters in a REST JSON parameters. So that's what. So before creating the, so before going to the demo, uh, so the flow which you are creating, right? That should be the auto launch flow. So why? Because the Salesforce itself it's saying when you use the auto launch flow, that flow will be exposed as a REST API. Okay, so this is the first point. Okay, so I have already created a flow as I said. So what this flow has is there is a two variables. One is a input variable, another one is output variable. Okay, so the input variable uh, is a checkbox is checked here, input and decimal number data type. The number value is the input variable API name, and by default it will be stored as a zero. Okay, and then output variable, which is the output number value. It's again the data type is a number, and then decimal value plus 2 and default value 0, and I have ticked this time output available for output. Okay, so once I receive the input, what I'm doing is I'm just add operator here, that will be adding to 0 plus whatever you have entered. That value will be stored here. Again, the same value on adding. Let's assume you enter a 2 here. In the output variable, it will store a 2. And again, the adding a 2 number to the another 2. So this will be become as a 4. Okay, so input will be the 2, output will be the 4. It will be returned when you call the REST API from the external system. So, okay, so I have created this flow right now. So I want to test this. So usually we'll test some different tools. This time I'm going to test Workbench. Workbench, okay. So using the Workbench, I'll just launch the service. Okay. So how we'll know what is a endpoint URL? So when I launch this flow, sorry, in REST Workbench, REST Explorer, you can find the actions here. So it's not like a quick actions, it's a like actions. Okay, so in these actions we have a standard and custom actions. So we have to choose the custom actions. In that actions we have to go by flows. Usually we'll call the using the Apex, right? Instead of Apex we are going by flows. Okay, so any flow. So now my flow name is now hmm, number API. Okay, it's like example, that's why I given a name. Okay, so it should be the post parameters. Okay, so what has to be the give the input parameters is the input parameter name should be always inputs. The structure will be like this: the inputs and input variables, whatever you have. So for now, I have only one input variable, so that I'm using this JSON as an input. Okay, so what is the input variable? Let me jump and copy the input variable. So the input variable is the input variable API name is this one. Okay, so I'll just pause the chew because of it's an integer, right? So I just pause the chew. See here, the output came. The output is 4. Two decimals I said, right? That's fine. So output variable is 4. So this is what the expected, right? Let's assume how it is handling the error exceptions. Let's assume I'm passing as a string instead of number. What will happen? So it will be the success response it will give, but there is a error handler is default. It will be work. It the error message also it's clearly indicating the number should not be in a string format. So let's assume if you are not given this value, what will happen? It will throw the JSON exception. Let's assume if you are passing as in null, what will happen? It will consider and it will show as a default 0 because of we have a default value is 0. So this is a way you can configure the custom service in a custom REST service in a flow. So just you have to pass the URL, write a normal auto launch flow, and just pass the endpoint URL to your external system. They will be take care. Okay, I hope you understood this concept. If you are understood and if you feel my efforts is appreciable, please do like and share who knows the Salesforce, and please do subscribe if you are not done. Thank you so much.